Welcome to our meditation time. I am honored that you have taken this time for yourself and that you are allowing me to be a part of that time. So let's just settle in. Wherever you are, if you are seated in a chair, on the floor, if you're lying down, I want you to give your physical self a chance to just settle. Get comfortable. Work out any restlessness that you feel in your hips and your back and your trouble spots that you typically have, so that for these next few minutes, you can truly find stillness. And we'll start with stillness in the body, and then we'll allow the stillness just to begin to permeate. It'll permeate the mind and the heart until our entire being has found stillness. So I invite you to go ahead and close your eyes wherever you are. And let's just start to breathe nice and slow in and out. And just finding a rhythm of breath that feels good. If you've had a really busy and trying day, give yourself long, deep, calming breaths. If you've been a little lethargic this evening because of the weather and the darkness, maybe your breath is a little more vibrant. But find a breath that's going to help you find this present moment right here and now. One breath in and one breath out. And let's each just kind of do a scan across the body, a scan across the mind, across the spirit. And let's just recognize, before we actually begin our moments together, let's recognize, what are you carrying? What are you carrying physically, emotionally, mentally? And so for these next few minutes, maybe you could just set that to the side. There are still burdens that we will have to pick up, we will have to carry. There are paths that we will have to navigate. But for these few minutes, let's work toward lightness of being in our physical self, our mental self, and our emotional self. So as you are settling in where you are, I want to share with you this question, and then I'm going to ask a few questions in these minutes that we have. And the question says, can you remember who you were before the world told you who you should be? Listen to that again. Can you remember who you were before the world told you who you should be? And I think I could take out the word world, and I could substitute it with the situations of life. So listen to this. Can you remember who you were before the situations of your life told you who you should be? And what I want us to do across these few minutes that we have is, I don't want us to go back into the past from this morning or 2 weeks ago or last year. I don't want us to go back and regret who we've become because of all these external influences. I want us to start in this moment, right here and now, beginning to reconnect with who we are. The essence of us that sometimes gets buried by the situations of life. And we just hunker down and push through. And we try to meet the expectations of everybody else. But really and truly, the best way to meet the challenges of life is by remaining true to who we are. Being comfortable in our own skin. And I can tell you, as someone who used to not be, that once you get to this point, there is nothing like it. Being comfortable in who you are. It is truly a gift to yourself. So across these minutes, let's start to ask some questions. So I'll ask a question and then we'll just pause. We'll continue to breathe. And I don't want us to try to find an answer. I want us to be mindfully present and see what arises. You may notice patterns of thoughts that come. Some you'll want to pay attention to, some you'll just let them go. You may notice feelings within your heart as I ask these few questions. Just pay attention to them. You may notice that maybe a part of your body tenses up because we're so used to just digging in and finding answers. And so if you notice any tension coming, just let it go. And start this journey toward just being comfortable in the here and the now. And eventually, you'll become comfortable within you. So let's take a long, slow, deep breath in together. Exhale, let it go. A long, slow, deep breath in. And let it go. And the first question, ask, who am I? Who am I? And again, we're not seeking the answer, we're just asking the question and mindfully witnessing how we respond to it, physically, mentally, emotionally. Who am I? And then the second question, ask, what do I want? What do I want? And that question's not asking about a laundry list of things or an accumulation of stuff. But as we seek to know who we are, it is vital that we each understand and know, what do we want? So again, the answer is not coming in this moment. It's just mindful awareness. Who am I? And what do I want? And this third sacred question, ask, what is my purpose? What is my purpose? Not what is my role, mother, spouse, son, employee, grandparent. Nope, not your role. What is my purpose? What is the purpose that I am meant to fulfill that no one else can? But that purpose is all predicated on knowing who I am and what I want. And then finally, the fourth question asks of us, what am I grateful for in this moment? What am I grateful for in this moment? And so let's just sit for just a few breaths, and then I'll pose the questions one more time, and we're going to let them kind of just marinate. Just let them sit with you. Notice your physical response to them. Notice your mental response. But most of all, notice your emotional response. So let's just sit, breathe a few more times, and then I'll pose the questions once more. Slow, deep breath in. Slow, deep breath out. A slow, deep breath in. And a slow, deep breath out. And then however you are seated or lying down, you are welcome to stay exactly as you are. But I would also invite you to join me if it feels comfortable in bringing one hand to the center of your chest on your heart and covering it with the other. Or maybe you put your hands together in that prayer position and you just hold them together. Or maybe you just let the hands rest where they are. And so again, we're not seeking the answer. Let's be mindfully aware of our reaction as I ask these last questions once more. Who am I? What do I want? What is my purpose? And in this moment, right now, what am I grateful for? Just notice, witness what's happening within you for just a few more seconds. And if your hands are at your heart, go ahead and let them come to rest. And I will sit in my space and you stay in yours, continuing to breathe. And all we need to do is just witness what bubbles up in your head, what physical restlessness comes into your body, and what do you feel right there in the center of your heart? Breathing through it all. And just let the vibrations of the singing bowl just bring your awareness back to the space that we are sharing. And just do a quick scan, just like when we began. Scan your physical self, your mental self, your emotional self. And I want to go back to that quote that I started off with. And so you just continue to stay in your space, breathing with your eyes closed. And I asked us in the beginning, can you remember who you were before the world told you who you should be? And my wish, my hope, my prayer for each of us is that that question becomes irrelevant. Because the more comfortable we become within ourselves, in our own skin, the less prone we are to let the influences of our situations in the world define who we are. The less prone we are to let the world tell us what we want. And certainly, the less prone we are to let the world tell us what our purpose is. So as we go through this night and through the day tomorrow and the days to follow, I would encourage you, I do this often with myself, keep asking those 4 sacred questions. Who am I? What do I want? What is my purpose? And in this moment, with this breath, what am I grateful for? And somewhere along the way, as you continue to ask the questions, I promise you, the comfort you feel within your own skin will begin to grow. Little by little, day by day. Namaste.